Today in Luther's Kitchen, I'm making one of my favorite Thanksgiving side dishes, and that is olive oil rolls. I'm adding some yeast to warm water about 110 degrees, giving it a little mix, and I'm going to let it hang out for about 5-ish minutes until the yeast activates and there's a lot of froth and foam at the top. I'm fluffing and I'm scooping and leveling out all-purpose flour or bread flour. Both work. You just want to make sure that you are really diligently fluffing and spoon and leveling your cups of flour. To the flour, look at the bubbly yeast that is beautiful, frothy, and activated. I'm going to put that mixture into the bowl of a stand mixer that's fitted with a dough hook. And I'm going to get that mixed together just for a few minutes before I add salt and olive oil. So those two things are going to hang out, the water, the yeast, with the flour. And as soon as the water is absorbed into the flour, I know it's time to add in the salt and the olive oil. Now that everything's in the bowl, you're going to lock that stand mixer in place and let the dough knead in the mixer for about 5 to 7 minutes, or until all or most of it has pulled away from the sides of the bowl. If after 5 to 7 minutes of kneading, there is still significant dough that's stuck to the sides or the bottom, you probably need to add a little more flour. Your dough's a little too wet. So I would just do a tablespoon at a time, turn the machine on until it pulls away from the bowl nicely. You're gonna form it into a smooth ball. You wanna put it into a bowl that has been oiled. Make sure that the oil gets all around the dough so it doesn't develop a crust. Plastic wrap it, set that in a warm place to proof. Look at that dough about an hour and a half later, looks gorgeous. You wanna punch it down. I have a cake pan ready. I have 2 cake pans ready actually, and my oven is preheating now to 400 degrees. And I'm going to try and get these into even amounts or balls. Sometimes I use meatball tongs, which you'll see in a bit. Sometimes I use a scale to weigh it to make sure they really are equal. And I'm gonna take each section and just roll it using the heel of my hand on the counter to really ensure a nice smooth ball. And I'm gonna split those between the 2 cake pans. Make sure I roll it in the olive oil. Again, I don't want it to be to have a dry crust on top. Plus, putting a little olive oil on the outside of the roll helps salt to stick to it, and I'm gonna put a little flake salt before it bakes. Cover those and let them sit for another 45 minutes to an hour until they double in size again. Then they're ready to pop in the hot preheated oven. Let them bake until they're golden brown. It takes about 15 to 18 minutes. And when they're done, you're gonna have a delicious dinner roll. For this recipe and more, visit myclasscancook.com.